GDP growth is the annual percentage change in the value of the goods and services produced by an economy. It measures how fast an economy is growing. GDP is calculated in three ways. Expenditure approach. GDP is the sum of spending on consumer goods and services, investment, government purchases, and net exports. Exports minus imports. Production approach. GDP is the total value of all final goods and services produced in an economy, minus the value of intermediate goods and services used in production. Income approach. GDP is the sum of all income earned in an economy, including wages, profits, and rent. GDP growth is a key indicator of economic health. When GDP is growing, it means that the economy is producing more goods and services, which can lead to higher incomes, lower unemployment, and increased living standards. However, GDP growth can also be accompanied by inflation, which can erode the purchasing power of consumers. There are two main types of GDP growth. Nominal GDP growth. This is the growth in GDP measured in current prices. It includes the effects of both inflation and real economic growth. Real GDP growth. This is the growth in GDP adjusted for inflation. It measures the true increase in the production of goods and services. GDP growth is influenced by a number of factors, including government policies. Fiscal and monetary policies can affect GDP growth. For example, tax cuts can stimulate spending and investment, while interest rate hikes can slow down economic activity. Consumer spending. Consumer spending is the largest component of GDP, so changes in consumer confidence and spending habits can have a significant impact on GDP growth. Business investment. Business investment in new plants and equipment can boost productivity and GDP growth. Net exports. Net exports, exports minus imports, can also contribute to GDP growth. Productivity growth. Productivity growth, which is the increase in output per unit of input, is a key driver of long-term GDP growth. GDP growth is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon. It is important to consider a variety of factors when interpreting GDP.